Deploying Vulcan.
So we really wanted both operators to have gadgets that's easy to understand when you see them, easy to use, but it's how you're going to use them that's going to make a difference. What they both do is quite simple, but they work as a team in an excellent manner as well.
The choice of country is a decision that our directors make, and then it's up to us to come up with the best plan of action and the best person that we can find. So they gave us Peru and Mexico. We will then brainstorm with the cell, with the directors, and say, what's a good fit? Both for the code name for the character, who do we want them to be, what do we want to focus on?
Thankfully, Nathan.
The inspiration was drawn by a big part by the community. They suggested a ladder operator. We tried to find a sweet spot between, okay, we understand what they want, so we figured, you know what, why don't we just do a grappling hook? We were actually able to use it indoors at the beginning, to any balconies indoors, so we're thinking bank there. But quickly we saw it wasn't very siege anymore. She was zipping herself to any point she wanted. Maybe not game breaking, but it was certainly siege breaking. So we had to adjust her so that what she does now is probably the best for the game.
So Amaru is an archaeologist, anthropologist from Peru. She joined the police force and then realized that art trafficking is a huge problem in Peru. There are a lot of artifacts that go missing, they get shipped across borders, and so she started fighting them in the jungles. So she changed and evolved around that idea and eventually became who she is now.
I knew that she's an artifact protector, let's say. Early design of Amaru was, she looked like a librarian. Very nice haircut, all tucked behind, well-mannered. Yeah, Greg passed at my desk back then and says, no, more grit, more rust.
4 last stop standing.
The beginning prototype of the Vulcan shield was nothing what it looked like today. It was actually a small canister that you could throw anywhere you wanted. It was a red color. You shoot it, it explodes. It didn't work out too well because on the defender side, you never really remembered where you hit it. And when you were dead and you were trying to make callouts to your allies to shoot it, it led to very cryptic callouts, like right next to the bed, no, right beneath it, and defenders could never really get that team play they were looking for. It was tiny. Every time we made it bigger, on the attacker side, they would see it and deny it super quickly. So that's how it came to be that the canister is still very available for defenders today with the Vulcan shield, because it's protected by the front. But yeah, on the attacker side, well, you can see it. Now you have to decide what you do, how can you solve this puzzle. The fire was actually twice as big. It was really huge, and most of the time, there were more defenders dying than attackers. So we kind of brought it down. It kind of feels like a double-edged sword sometimes, but now it's a controlled one.
When Goyo was 11, his father and sister were killed in an explosion. His mother shielded him from the blast. As a result, she was crippled, but she survived and he survived. So while he was recovering himself and his mother was in hospital, Amaru was the one who came and took care of him. And she was really his cool aunt who would fly in from occasion to, teach him to do things that his mother didn't necessarily want him doing and then leave again. But as the gadget evolved, our vision of him evolved. So originally it was that he took the bomb and he made it bigger and badder and he wanted to get revenge on everybody, which, fair enough. But as his gadget evolved and it got put on the shield and it became much more of a mind game, then we started to think he's much more of a tactician. He's someone who uses this as a deterrent.
I'm trying to let the player know that by looking at the outside shell of the character, you know who's inside. Because who's inside is actually more important. The way he's gonna pose himself, the tilt of the head, is a good way to tell stuff about characters. To me, the most exciting part would be the iteration of those characters. I have a lot of liberty. And sometimes they like some elements and they combine it with what they liked.
There is a volcano in Mexico called Goyo, or Don Goyo. And since his shield explodes, his shield is called the Vulcan, meaning volcano. It seemed a natural fit to give him the name Goyo.
I've designed the original map, and I think I've been more harsh on the rework. There was so many things that I wanted to change, so many things that I wanted to improve. I'm definitely better now as a level designer, as I've done so many maps now. I definitely learned a lot. Making a rework is actually different. I wouldn't say it's easier. When we make the changes in a rework map, we need to be really surgical. The problem that we had in the initial design of Canal was the lack of rotation, because in the map there's actually 2 buildings connected by one bridge. Now we decided to add another bridge. There was another problem in this map, is that in each building we had also a lack of connection between floors. So this is more vertical navigation. But we decided to add another staircase on each building.
One of my favorite things about our community is they will pick up on details of our characters that we put in there and we didn't think anyone would see. Mostly for me, what I'm hoping is that for each operator I write, there's a heart. There is an issue or a person or something that is so deeply important to them that it informs everything that they do. And when someone creates fan art that touches on that heart, I get chills. I love it.